All right, so for today's problem, we're going to look at differentiating the function y equals cosine of inverse sine of 3w. Now here we have a composition of functions which is triply nested. We've got a function inside a function inside a function. Now let's set this up. So a couple things we'll need to have is we'll first need to know the chain rule, and then we'll look at our derivatives for the cosine and inverse sine. Now if you recall the chain rule, if we have the derivative with respect to x of f of u, that's going to be the derivative of f prime of u, times u prime. So we basically differentiate the outside, then multiply that by the derivative of the inside. A couple of other things that will be useful for us is that if we take the derivative of the cosine of u, that's going to be equal to the negative sine of u times u prime, whatever u may be. And then for the derivative of inverse sine, that's equal to the function 1 over the square root of 1 minus u squared times u prime. All right, so now let's go. All right, so now here we have to apply the chain rule more than once because we have a triply nested function. So we start with the outer function, which is cosine. The derivative of cosine is negative sine, so we'll take the negative sine of the inner part, inverse sine of 3w, and then we multiply that by the derivative of the first inner function, which is inverse sine. So now inverse sine derivative is going to be 1 over the square root of 1 minus u. Our u here is 3w, so that'll be 1 over the square root of 1 minus 3w squared. Then we multiply that by the derivative of the inner function. The derivative of 3w is simply 3. So now we want to clean this up. Now one nice thing here is because we have the sine of the inverse sine, taking the composition of two inverse functions will basically cancel them out. So that expression will be just equal to negative 3w. And then bringing along the square root, the 3w squared here is equal to 9w squared. And then multiplying the 3, bringing that on top, we can write that as 3 over the square root of 1 minus 9w squared. So then putting it all together, multiplying negative 3w times 3 would give us our final result of y prime equals negative 9w over the square root of 1 minus 9w squared. Now, there is another way that we can do this, and maybe we'll take a look at that in another short.